right, welcome back. Sorry, eating chocolate. Welcome back. Welcome to the show. I have a product for you today. I have advice on a tip I discovered for when you're feeling overwhelmed in your house. And some tips I have for when you're feeling overwhelmed in your homeschool, which I've also conquered. Well, I've just experienced it more probably than the average person, I feel like. Maybe, maybe not. All right, so first off, we have a product of the day. I want to show you this because this has tremendously helped me. It's like $10 or something online. It is JDA Learning Resources. I actually spoke about another one of our products yesterday in yesterday's video, which is all about what to do if you need help with language arts. If your child's struggling with language arts, if they're not reading, or whatever the problem is with language arts, what to do about it. If they're an older kid or a younger kid, that was yesterday's video. Day before, a winner of a history video about the day before. All right, so what I want to show you is inside this. So this, I didn't think it would work. I didn't think it would help learn single-digit multiplication facts. Yes, there's Kate Snow has a book out. The problem is anytime that the Kate Snow products, which are Math with Confidence, great products, I've used them. The problem is that it requires one-on-one time. Which is great, except because every kid every day needs one-on-one, especially if your kid has behavioral issues. Every day you got to do something they want to do, right? Okay, great. Well, life can be pretty busy. And when you have more than one child, doing games with them, each child, I just found it too much, especially because there's no way my kids were like, oh yeah, that's a great game. No, they were like, okay, now play my game. So, which is fine. It just took a lot of time. So this was the alternative that I was going to try. And this is for my special son. Because if he didn't match this, I was just going to kind of give up and give him a calculator for simple calculations. Because he could seem to grasp the bigger one, but the simple ones, they were really escaping him. But it actually worked. So let me show you what it is. Let me show you inside. Single digit addition drills. No, it's one of the few days my room is clean. I vacuumed it. So it starts off sums of 0. Has the multiplication, or has the addition questions here and the answer. I have them read them out, just trying to get them in. Then I cover it up and we go through this. So you're going to work on practice of 0. I don't do the time. I don't do the score. We do that. In the beginning, we did like 1 line a day, and now we do 2 lines a day. Now for handwriting, they handwrite a bit. They might handwrite 1 column, and then I do the other one for them. But even if I'm handwriting, they can't say 9. They have to say 0 plus 9, just to further cement it in their head. Okay, so we're starting off at 0. So see how much practice 0 is getting? And it always, usually, I don't think I've seen it anyway. 0 plus 0, 0 plus 1, 0 plus 2. So they're just kind of going through. But again, every time you say it, it sticks in your head. So it may seem like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't let them do that. You have to say 0 plus 0, 0 plus 1, 0 plus 2. All right, and then this side. So, but my point is that, so they do 1 page a day. 1 page a day. It only takes, I think we've been working on it maybe a month now, month and a half. So it's not, it goes all the way up to, what does it go up to? So it's not going to take an intense amount of time out of your homeschool year. It could even be a summer thing, whatever you want. So I didn't do this in addition to the curriculum, it goes up to 10. I did this a break from the curriculum. Well, I choose another one. A company reached out to me that's doing Singapore mathematics, but online. But they don't have an app, but online. But I'm definitely considering that, and I keep meaning to find time to sit down and take a look at it and see how it all works. Okay, but anyway, what do you do if you're feeling overwhelmed in your house? I was feeling totally overwhelmed. It was like, according to Minimal Mom, like I am managing a warehouse. That was her line, not mine. Perfectly suited to every house in America, in North America, I feel like. So I try to practice minimalism, not real good at it. Not real good, still work in progress. So what do I decide to do when I'm feeling overwhelmed? I mean overwhelmed, like you come home and there is stuff on every counter, every surface. So sometimes I would say, okay, I'm just gonna clean off every surface, make sure every surface is cleaned off. Okay, I'm just gonna pick a room today and focus on that room. Okay, on and on and on. Okay, I'm just gonna box up a bunch of stuff. I boxed up tons of stuff that I wasn't using at this time that I don't wanna get rid of, that I don't want to deal with the decision of do I keep it or do I let it go. And as I was going through, if there's something to throw it out, I threw it out. And then boxed up and moved it. Okay. Still there was stuff everywhere. Because now there were boxes everywhere full of my stuff. What did I discover? I focused on one room it was purely accident. I said, okay, this is the time I'm going to clean up my bedroom. And so I went through and I moved all the stuff out of the room, packed it all away, boxed it all up, however I did it. And I don't like insects and spiders and stuff, so I put everything in like bins with lids and totes and stuff, so I organized them and whatever, who cares. However, but that was a big motivating factor for me to go through stuff, is I don't like spiders and they hide and stuff. So I'm like, no, I want to know what's going on. I want to see what's happening. And I learned a secret. If you have one room that is minimal, that is cleaned up, that is organized, you can, it takes such a stress off you when you walk in that room that you can then, no longer are you faced with an entire household full of stuff. You're just not, because you're this one room. I'm just telling you, I started with my bedroom. It happened on accident. I did my bedroom. My bedroom's done. Every time, even though I'm stressed out there now because I haven't finished out there, or because there's always ongoing stuff out there, honest to goodness, I walk in my room, relative peace. So that's something to consider. If you haven't tried, if you're feeling overwhelmed, just do your one room. Just do your bedroom, so that when you walk in there, at least you're feeling overwhelmed. So that means shelves empty, less things to clean. I don't even have a bookshelf in here, just because. Maybe I should. I don't know. But the less stuff, the better. The less stuff, the better. Because we all know why clutter, it does increase anxiety in children, in people. Not here to lecture you. Do what you want. Here to try and help you. Okay, so next up, what are you doing if you feel overwhelmed in your homeschool? What do you do? What have I done? I have special needs children. You don't think that at some point in my life I've been like, oh my goodness, this is too much. You have all this curriculum stacked up. Even if they're not special needs, usually it happens when I feel like in kindergarten, you have such high expectations for when kindergarten's beginning. You got all these books and all these things that you want to go through, and it happens every year anyway. But more so in kindergarten, and then your kids like, they just want to stick their face in like a bucket of sand or something like that. Like, it's just not happening. Like, it's just not going to happen. And it shouldn't happen in kindergarten. It shouldn't happen, in my opinion. But now, so what do? You focus on reading, writing, and math. Pick up some of these books. Reading, writing, and math. Start with that and pick a subject like, say, science, history, something simple. Science is pretty simple to teach. There's a lot of options. And just sit down and at breakfast, do maybe your Christian studies if you want to do it then. Whatever floats your boat, whether it's you bookend the day with both, you start with one. And then at lunchtime, you read some science. That's it. If you do Science Shepherd, you can just put on the DVDs for science. Or Mystery Science is free. It's online. It's not Christian, but I mean, it's an option too. You can just put that on at lunch. So at least you're attempting to get a routine. You have now paired your subjects with a meal. A, kids are going to be more receptive to learning because they're eating, they're shoving food in their face. And B, I mean, you can cover a lot of topics. So you can have that stack of curriculum. You can have that grammar. You can have those read alouds. You can have whatever. And then, spend 5 weeks per subject. You will, throughout the course of a year, half a year, however long school is, I homeschool year round, but however your school year goes, you will cover a lot of topics during that one teaching period. So you could essentially, if you had multiple grades, you could essentially cover multiple grades of a subject in that time. And so some it will be review, some it will be new stuff. And you don't always, I mean, if you are feeling overwhelmed, ditch the family subjects. I have never seen more complicated things than family subjects, because I have bought them from Gather Round. I have bought everyone that The Good and the Beautiful has. And even when they're simple, they're still overwhelming. What you need is a textbook. And you sit down, I box mine away that I'm not using right now, because I only pull them out when, okay, I've done these books, now it's time for another. I pull out the bin of all the things I want to cover this year and I pull it out. And pull out a textbook, sit down, read the textbook, everyone answers the questions at the end, and you make mental notes of everything you want people to remember. And if you want to get extra complicated, then on Fridays you review. Fridays you review what you learned for the week because you were keeping a little note. If you are not there yet, do not beat yourself up about it. Yep, so there you go. Reading, writing, math, when you get particularly stressed, you can do math online. You can choose something that is math related online and they can do it. So reading, writing, math, you can do reading eggs for reading. I'm just trying to help you when you are feeling overwhelmed, actually feel like your kids are reading, writing, and math, so you don't feel terrible, you don't feel like you're violating state standards, you don't feel like anything. And you'll eventually get to where you want to get, but you got to take a lot of the pressure off. And every book you have laying around is a book that you look at and go, oh yeah, I should read that. Oh yeah, we should do that. Oh yeah, when are we going to do that? So anyway, I hope that helps you, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And hopefully you tune in. I try to make several videos a week. Hopefully you tune back in and say hi. And if you have any questions, leave them in a comment because I usually make a video on it. Bye-bye.